let's go into, because you could buy it in the IRA, you could buy it personally, but what are the benefits of doing it in a self-directed IRA versus just doing it personally, like if you were going to buy a rehab or a buy and hold project?
Well, from a practical standpoint or a pragmatic standpoint, for most people, that tends to be where their money is. So statistically, most people's biggest asset is their home, personal residence. Their second biggest asset is their retirement account.
Okay.
So if you are a real estate person, that may be where your money is. So that, so there's sort of a pragmatic aspect to that. Now, the other is the power of deferral. If I buy a rental property and I sell it, and we'll go back, let's say for the sake of discussion that I bought a rental property for $100,000. I sold it for $175,000. If I do that personally, I've got a $75,000 gain that's taxable. If I do that in an IRA, I've got a $75,000 gain, but I'm not paying tax. Secondarily, if I do that personally and I have a $75,000 gain, and let's say I spend 20, I needed 20 and I spend it. What do I pay tax on?
75,000.
75 grand, because that was the gain. In my IRA, if I made the 75 and I spend 20, I pay tax on 20.
Okay.
All right. Personally, if I do that investment in a taxable environment, I'm paying tax based on what? On production, right? If I do it in an IRA, I'm paying tax on consumption. I'm only paying tax on what I pull out of the IRA.
Whenever you take a distribution.
Right. Gotcha. So there's the power of deferral. If it's Roth, it's free, okay, because you don't pay tax on the earnings. In the taxable world, it doesn't matter what I do with the funds. I mean, if I do an exchange or I do a transaction where I'm deferring gain or something, that's a different story. Okay?
Yeah.
Right. But generally speaking, in a taxable environment, I pay tax on everything I earn. Doesn't matter what I do with the money. I pay tax on everything I earn. In retirement accounts, I only pay tax on what I pull out.